Everybody's standing at the bank of the pond, next to a
Here's
pile
the
of
real question.
Tarin's clothes and equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, no, we have telekinesis because we've got one of the dudes in our grasp.
I cast it again though.
No, I'm saying we have it now. I'm just remembered that we have a hostage basically.
Yeah, you have a hostage. How did you have him bound, or you just knocked him out and picked him up with telekinesis?
Well, I remember I threw a petrification grenade at him.
Oh,
and
he's
then
petrified. That's right.
telekinesised him.
Yeah, he's petrified. Although we should probably tie him up or something because telekinesis isn't gonna last forever.
Neither will the petrification grenade.
All right. Time up. Khalil, you know binding probably better than any of us.
Hey, do you have any handcuffs left? Wait, how big is this guy? Are your handcuffs gonna fit him?
He's a
Like
giant.
9 feet
He's about 9 feet tall.
Yeah.
Okay, so
probably
we need
won't
a
fit.
big handcuff.
I mean, yeah, we have rope. That's probably about as good as we're gonna do at this point.
I don't know. Maybe I have some kind of bullshit magic that can tie him up.
Probably you do.
Yeah, check your bullshit spell list and see what's on that bullshit spell list of yours.
Well, I have this spell that lets me float him in the air while we decide what to do with him. Oh wait, I'm using that one already.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't get any benefit by stacking telekinesis on him. So what is the plan with this guy? You got about 2 minutes before petrification wears off. It only lasts a few minutes, and you dragged him back out of the woods, back to the pond, where Tarin's clothes and equipment are piled up.
Well,
I forgot this was a pond.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a
Repeat some of it.
pond now. Do we have any way to communicate with this guy when he comes to?
You have no idea.
No, I'm
I
asking
can-
the group.
I can cast tongues.
All right.
You also have
assume-
mouths in your face.
Well, yeah. I mean, if he doesn't speak common, I mean. So,
I can cast comprehend language.
okay. So
That's
I
probably
think-
better.
Well, it takes me 10 minutes though.
I say we bind him. We try to communicate with him and tell him pretty simply we want to know where his friends took our friend.
Why are we assuming that they're
Zook,
friends?
Wisdom 10.
Why are we assuming that they're friends?
Yeah.
Because they were all in a big raiding party together.
They were all giants.
Oh, you mean all the giants? I thought you meant
That was a.
No, we don't
Oh,
think
yeah.
the birdsmen took.
Oh,
Giants,
that's a
do we?
bummer.
Zook,
We don't
Wisdom
really
10.
care about the bird people.
I'm trying, but I pulled a dice out of a bag that wasn't a die. Somebody put the wrong thing in there.
Yeah, that was me. Sorry.
Okay, that should pass. I don't have a negative wisdom, do I? No, that's an 18.
Zook floats the idea of binding this giant, but you immediately realize you don't have anything you could bind him with. And anything non-magical, I should say, that you could bind him with that he couldn't break. This man is bulging with muscles. He's
What
a
about,
giant. He's 9 feet tall. He's
What?
got at least the strength of a hill giant. I mean,
What about,
just the strength required to swing this giant club around, he would be able to break your rope.
Fair enough.
What about Zook's chains?
It's a quick spell.
It's a momentary thing.
It's not
It's not a-
persistent.
Oh, okay.
Although that would be a good idea if they were persistent.
Yeah, no, I actually thought about that, but I couldn't think of any way to bullshit that into it happening, other than just straight up asking. But
The only thing I can do is I could just, because this telekinesis will last for another hour, I think. Let me make sure of that.
And his speed is 0 while he's... I mean, well, the thing is, though, he gets to make a strength check every round against Nodal's charisma to break out of the telekinesis.
10 minutes. 10 minutes is telekinesis.
And is he stronger than
He looks
Eldove is
far
bullshit?
stronger than all of you.
how beat up is he? I forget how much we beat on this guy before we captured him.
I don't think you did, actually, that much.
Yeah,
I'm just
that was.
I'm just gonna
there
float
was
him
another
up
guy
on
that
here.
we beat up on.
Orphan pummeled one guy quite a bit. This guy you just went with a grenade, I think.
Yeah.
For now, let's just for safety's sake, in case he wakes up, let's keep him floating 60 feet above this water over here.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, let's do that. Let's keep him restrained. Let's keep him floating above the water, and then
We
We'll
should
call-
look for Tarin?
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah.
Because who knows where he's going?
Yeah.
This is a crazy magic
None
forest,
of us know, like.
and
yeah.
I don't know how to even go through a normal forest.
Was
that's a
Tarin
good-
the one who knew locate person?
I know locate creature.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Didn't we try that at the end of the last session, or maybe not?
No, we didn't
No.
resolve it yet. I said we were going to resolve it at the beginning of this session.
Oh yeah, well that's
Yeah,
the
so
first thing we should do.
Yeah.
He used it on Zook, as I
That's
recall.
right. That's how. Yeah, but no, he was going to do that to start this session. So let's start there.
Yeah, that sounds like a good place
So
to
you
start.
float the
Meanwhile, we'll
laundry
keep this-
golem out over the pond, so if he telekinesis wears off or whatever, he falls into the pond and drowns.
Or just at the very least, just slow down and isn't going to pounce on us.
No, I like
I mean-
drowns.
Or drown. I
Alright.
can only float him 60 feet away from me, so he's probably right about here. I think he can get out.
Worst comes to worst, I can vortex the pond.
I
Worst
also
comes to
have
worst,
another
I'll
petrification
pick
grenade
him
since
back
they
up.
seem
I
to
would-
work on him.
I would rather not waste yet another spell slot.
So yeah, Eric,
Okay,
you do have locate creature
Yeah.
prepared.
Yeah, I do. So where's Destil?
You cast the spell, and no response.
I'm gonna.
Jesus, really?
You
Can I
can't,
look for,
you can't tell where Destil is within the confines of the spell.
Can I use my survival to see if I can tell where they went and what direction they went into? Find tracks.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sounds like
roll
an
it.
excellent thing to use survival for.
Roll that shit.
Nice.
Nice.
That'll be a 27.
They had more time, you can tell, to carry Tarin off than they had you. You find amongst the clothes some fresh bloodstains. Look like he got clobbered pretty hard. And you can tell that they tried to mask their tracks. They tried to cover their tracks, and they did a good job too. But you still see them leading off in this direction.
Leading
Do
off.
do
Okay.
I feel like confident enough that we could follow those tracks but from what I can see here?
You do not, because every time you've tried to follow anything in this forest, you've gotten turned around.
That's the thing. I wonder if these creatures know the secret of the forest enough that we could get through. I could try to guide us, but I don't think we'll get anywhere.
Nodal, go ahead and
Well-
make your charisma check.
It's worth a try.
Well, we really don't have any of the other options at this point.
Oh, is he waking up and trying to
Is
break
he waking
out?
up?
Yeah, he's starting to struggle. The
12.
I rolled even shittier than that, so you win. The laundry golem starts to come too. And the petrification is gradually wearing off. You see he's getting some range of movement back, and he realizes he's being held by some kind of force. And you see him struggling. It's hard to tell what he's doing because he's got so many layers of rags on. But there's definitely a struggle going on.
Do callers out to him. Do you understand what I'm saying?
What language?
First in common.
And then he stops struggling for a moment, and the rags in his head area swivel around in your direction. He acknowledges that you spoke, but if he's saying anything, you can't hear it.
If you can understand me, and I'm still speaking in common, if you can understand me, give me a sign.
And he stays stock still.
Say the same thing again in Gnomish.
When you say it in
Maybe when I speak
Gnomish, he lashes his arms out as though to grab you, although he's 60 feet away over the pond, so it's a futile effort.
Yeah.
And he responds in Gnomish that one way or another you will stand trial for your crimes.
Well,
I
that
ask him-
pissed him off.
Like I tell him, you better stop resisting. You're 60 feet over the water. The fall would hurt.
So then they would add murder to your list of transgressions.
Hey, we're talking now. I don't know what you're talking about. I've never seen you before. Where it is, my friend?
And he looks around at the mention of your friend. That his eyes. Well, you can't see his eyes. He's got rags covering his head. Are all of you standing on the bank?
Yeah.
Let me move myself over.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I have a...
Where's your owl, Eldove?
My owl's dead. I don't have him. I'll make a new one.
Is he dead? Did we-
No, he's not actually dead. He
I was
doesn't.
gonna say I don't
We
remember
did-
killing that owl.
Yeah, we didn't explore
Actually,
the owl
he's
this
not here
session.
right now. I did dismiss him. So.
Okay. Yeah, he sees the five of you standing on the bank. And then he responds back in Gnome. And it's a very particular dialect of Gnome. It
I
is the
recognize it.
dialect of forest gnomes. It's the one that you grew up with. It's not the standard, generic gnome dialect that you also use to converse with hill gnomes, rock gnomes, and now deep gnomes, now that you've met one. But he responds in Gnomish, and he stays stock still. He says, "Do what you will with me, it matters not."
I respond, we won't harm him if he will tell us how to find our friend.
He
Yeah,
doesn't.
why didn't you put Zook in a sack?
He doesn't respond, and he's no longer struggling against the telekinesis.
Why did you try to capture me, I ask? Who else in our party speaks Gnomish, by the way? Doesn't
I do, you taught it to me.
Okay.
I do not.
I don't.
Nope.
I don't yet.
I ask him why did he try to capture me?
This is not my place to answer your questions.
You're the one restrained 60 feet over a pond right now, so maybe you should help us out.
And do what you will with me, it matters not.
Someone talking about all the moral offenses we've caused. He sure did put you in a sack and drag you into the forest.
Did you say that
Are
out
you saying
loud?
this out loud in Gnomish?
Yeah, I'm saying that aloud in Gnomish. Like,
Okay.
He looks... You can't tell that he's looking at you, but you see the movement in the rags of his head, face in Eldove's direction. To my knowledge, the Elfling has made no offense. It is the gnome I speak of.
Duke responds, I'm actually not from this part of the world. I've heard that there have been some trouble with the forest gnomes, but I'm not part of them.
He says, and is that the extent of your defense?
Defense, I'm only interested in finding my friend and getting the hell out of these woods.
If that's the extent of your defense, the tribunal shall be pleasing indeed. He sounds very, very pleased with himself when he says that.
It's adorable that you think there's going to be a tribunal, but I'm not planning on going anywhere without my friends and then out of this forest.
Tarin,
Yes.
you have a splitting headache. And I mean that in a literal sense, because your head has been split open, but then sutured shut again. Very
Whoa!
crudely. You have 1 hit point.
Okay.
What happened, last thing you remember, was a very sharp pain in your head as one of these things brought a club down on top of you, and you don't remember what you were doing before that moment. And struggling on the ground, trying to get back up, a second club came down and you blacked out. Now you're in some kind of cell. You're outdoors. But you're enclosed in some kind of cage, dangling from a tree, swaying very gently back and forth. It's just about dawn, you can tell. And looking down and around, you can see some of these, we've been calling them laundry golems. You can see a few of them milling around below you in the path. And looking down, you're wearing your short pants, but that's about it.
Are any of them paying any particular attention to me?
Oh yes, they're watching you.
Okay. How many of them are there?
You can see 4 from where you're at right now.
I think I'm going to just wait. I'm going to actually see if I can take a short rest.
Okay.
Just kind of give it an hour. Not really. Just kind of stay crumpled on the floor of the cage.
As long as you... It looks like they're watching you, but they're not making any movement to interfere with your rest. So you can go ahead and take the benefits of the short rests.
I'm going to spend a hell of a lot of hit dice.
I would spend, yeah, a lot of them.
all of the dice.
All of the hit dice.
+2, okay.
Yeah, I should spend the hit dice too.
You haven't taken a rest
We're
yet.
kind of in the the middle of
Yeah,
something.
you guys
Oh,
haven't taken
sorry.
a rest yet. Tarin's taking a rest
Yeah.
because he's in a cage.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought that. Okay, go ahead.
One of them... I mean, what are you doing in the cage? Are you making any movements at all, or are you just staying...
No, like I said, I'm staying crumpled on the floor of the cage
Okay.
for now, until I get rest at least.
Okay. What's your plan
Take an hour.
after the rests? So yeah, short rest is 1 hour.
Maybe cast some spells. We'll see how the rest goes. Give me a minute.
Okay.
I have to look up which ones have what components since I don't have the spell component pouch.
You're not bound right now.
Okay.
You're just in this cage. And And the locking mechanism in the cage is not immediately apparent to you. You'd have to spend some turns investigating to find out.
Also, he's naked, right?
He's wearing short pants. I gave him his short pants.
Oh.
He's got his, well, I don't know what kind of underwear it is, Tarin. I always figured, like, tiger print bikini.
Nah, Tarin wears plain boxers. Probably some flamboyant color, though.
Are your flamboyant boxers your spell implement?
But no, you don't have your component pouch, and you don't have your spell focus.
I have to take my underwear off in order to cast this spell.
What's the plan back at the pond?
I ask Eldove in comment how long he's got him restrained like that.
I ask Brickroad, how long do I have him restrained like that?
It was up to 10 minutes.
10 minutes, yeah.
He's no longer struggling, so you have, we'll say, 3 or 4 more minutes left.
I'll say to Zook about 3 or 4 more minutes.
Say to him, do we do? Do we just abandon him and make our own way, or do we...
I don't see we have much of a choice.
I could read his thoughts, but I can't hold him while doing so.
Can't do that while he's petrified either.
He's not petrified anymore.
So I'm saying if I petrified him again.
Oh, well, yeah, that would work.
That's my get out of jail card I've got right now is the petrification. I tell him I say to the laundry golem looking thing, I tell him he's only got a few minutes left to make a decision before we leave him in the water.
He says it's not his place to make decisions.
Fine. Lead me to your people, and then we'll let them make a decision.
And that gets no response. I mean, 3 or 4 minutes is more than enough time to fill him up with arrows.
I was about to say, can't we light an arrow on fire and just sort of whiz it by his head, threateningly?
Aren't you our cleric?
I am the cleric. He's also evil, and he's hijacked one of our party members. I have no problem with that.
Is he evil?
Did you ask him?
To kill us!
No, I think he's
tried to kill us.
He's lawful something. Because he's definitely
Oh
thinks
yeah,
I
'cause
did
you talked
something
about
wrong.
the tribunal too.
He seemed
Lawful. Yeah,
this
he's
is-
lawful evil.
Remember, I talked to that deep gnome, and they had some beef with the forest gnomes too. So, I'm not
Yeah,
saying
but that
forest,
dude was a dick.
forest gnome.
Fine, we
they apparently
won't
had
threaten the laundry golem.
Oh, I have no problem with threatening him. I'm just saying.
You want me to just drop him into the water? Because, I mean, I could drop him into the water. That's what you want, man. Wait,
That's what-
can't you use the water to hold him or something?
No. Did I learn control water?
At this point, we're not going to learn anything else from him. I don't see the point in staying around here.
What does that do? What does control water do?
You've used this before.
I know I have.
Like a bunch of times.
But
All I'm saying is,
it's multifaceted.
Can we have a little out of context time for him to remember what his fucking spell does?
I can flood, I can part, I can redirect, I can whirlpool. All of which is very threatening and...
I'm cool with threatening, I just want non-lethal.
my intimidation score is shit. So, I have good persuasion, but that does not seem to be, that I don't think that's going to get us
requires a
anywhere.
body of water at least 50 feet square and 25 feet deep.
Wasn't one of you going to be a lawyer at some point?
That was Tarin.
Cause a
yeah.
whirlpool in
Right.
the form
Our
of
rules
center of
lawyer
the
is here
area.
right now.
Oh, a creature can swim away from the vortex by making a strength athletics check against your spell save DC. And the
I'm gonna be
creature-
honest. I'm just about done with this guy, so...
Alright.
I mean, if he attacks us, I'll burn him, but otherwise, do you want to just dump him somewhere? Come up with some other choices?
Well, I mean, I can use survival to try to track and see how far that gets us.
Alright.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get a lot out of this guy.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
So, we're done with this guy? What are we doing?
I'll drop the poop guy over here.
So you move him over here and drop him?
Well, no, I don't physically drop him.
Set him down?
You should have dropped him.
And do you release the spell, or do you continue to hold him?
I don't break telekinesis, but I mean, I'm not preventing him from moving anymore.
Okay. Roll your spell DC again.
Wait, I'm not holding him. Be like dispelling it?
Oh, I thought you said you were moving him over there.
No. I'm just saying I don't stop concentrating. But he's not. I'm not holding him anymore.
Okay. So he stands up, and you see the full size of his form standing up. Where did you put him down? Over here?
Yeah.
So he's this marker now? No, he's a giant. He'd be like this. And he stands up, and he looks at you all. Like, and then he asks in Gnomish, so what happens now?
You try to figure out where you're keeping our friend, and you go warn them that we're coming, I'm assuming.
Roll you know what? Fuck it. I actually have okay persuasion.
Make it a disadvantage.
Yeah, I have reliable talent. And I'm saying to him, we don't want to hurt you. We just want our friend back. We're not saying you tell us where they're at, but if you walk home, maybe we're far enough behind you, we can find our friend. It's a shitty persuasion, but whatever. That'll be, well, that 5 becomes a 10, so that's 17.
17? Zook.
Yeah.
Where are you standing when this happens? Right there?
Right here.
He walks towards you a few paces. And he reaches up and he pulls some of the rags away from his face. And you see the level of deformity in this creature's face. One eye is like twice the size of the other one, and it sits way too high on his head. His ears are lopsided. One is pointed, the other is not. He has teeth pointing out of his mouth from every which direction, and he's got, in the moonlight, you can see his skin has like this greenish pallor to it. And he looks at you, and you just see this look, you just read this face full of hatred for you. I need you to make a charisma save. DC 14. Did
Okay.
you make it?
That'd be a 20.
Save.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that
22.
would make it.
20 on die.
Oh, my calculator open. What kind of DM am I with no calculator? Take 11 psychic damage.
Oh, that's with the save? Okay.
That's with the save. That's half damage.
Can't evasion that.
No.
Yeah, I guess I can't.
You feel just the hatred this creature has for you as his eyes pierce into your brain and causes something to shake and rupture up there. I mean, down there. You're a gnome. You're way down there. And at that, he grimaces like he also is feeling pain. Like he winces with it. And at that, he collapses to the ground and sits cross-legged. Looks just like a mound of cloth. And he reaches up and maneuvers the rags back to hide his face. He says, if the intent is to follow me, then I choose to not move.
There we have it. What's the deal?
All right. Shoot yourself. I say to the group in common, so he just mind blasted me and it didn't feel great, but so we should probably get away from him. I don't particularly want to kill this guy in cold blood at this point, but I don't know what else to do.
Then lead the way.
I'll try.
Well, I mean, 1 second first.
Eldove
God
has
damn
more
it.
ideas.
God damn it.
What do you use to light him on fire?
I have other peaceful ideas. Thank you.
What?
This doesn't make sense.
Peaceful? What is this?
Piece
Who are
of
you and what are you
fire?
doing with Nodal?
Well, make it quick, because I don't feel like bleeding out of my ears anymore.
No, you
Yeah,
look out of your nose. It's like
Okay.
filling up your
It's
mustache.
psychic nosebleed.
What's your idea,
I
Eldove?
cast Detect Thoughts.
He doesn't get a saving against
And-
that, does he?
No, and I just get his surface thoughts. And is he thinking about the fact that he's not going to lead us back home, thus thinking about leading us back home?
His surface thoughts are thoughts of contentment. Like his death will, he feels like he's thinking about how his death will buy his tribe some level of vindication. He's very content with himself right now. He doesn't seem to be thinking about bringing violence to you, but he's definitely thinking about your bringing violence to him and how little that's going to matter in a little while.
I ask him, are you sure there's no way we can convince you to lead us back to your home?
Where are you wearing your rope right now? I know you have like a bunch of rope.
Wearing my rope?
Like, how do you have it stored on your person?
It's just in my pack.
It's in your pack, so he can't see it? This is the only way
not, like,
I would...
Link's manualing this.
Actually, roll a persuasion check, too. Also, my dog is going ham outside. What a nerd.
Rick and I system on that since I'm also speaking Gnomish.
You cannot.
You don't need to, man. That is a 26.
26. You get nothing but silence for a few seconds. But then he looks over to Zook. His head shifts that direction. Bind the gnome. Let me lead him back.
Is he thinking about leading Zook back?
He's thinking, like, his surface thoughts now have shifted to, like, you're about to trick him. Like, you're leading him into some kind of trick, and he's trying to work out what. Like, he's trying to keep the upper hand in this, whatever this negotiation is. He feels like he's starting to slip. But you don't get any sense that he's lying. He says, bind the gnome, and I'll lead him back. He's not lying.
He's still speaking Gnomish?
Yes, that's the only language you've heard him speak.
Alright, so I have no idea what's going on.
And you've only ever heard, like, Zook and Eldove speak this language. To hear that cute, adorable little language come out of this monstrosity is kind of jarring.
Does Orphan look confused?
Yeah.
Guys, I gotta go retrieve my dog,
I have
so
no
I'll be right
problem
back.
with translating. Eldove will probably try to keep you in the loop for what's going on.
Okay. She'll suggest then that why don't we lead him and you can lead the way.
All right, once Brick's back, I'll repeat that.
Okay.
I'm pretty good at getting out of ropes and stuff, so.
All right, what's the plan then?
Eldove asks, "What if we tie him up, but you can lead the way?"
He says, "You tie him up. Turn him over to me. I will take him back to the tribe." And then he says, "We will send a representative to retrieve the rest of you, so you may attend his trial and execution."
Oh, he's already planning on executing you. What is the point of the trial?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not real thrilled with that idea.
Yeah, Khalil is... Yeah, you translate that, Khalil is like, what the fuck is this shit?
Good thing Khalil got over his flaw, because otherwise he would be tying Zook up right now.
Yeah. No kidding. Yeah, what the fuck is up with this? Like, yeah, I mean, he's talking about trial and executions. Like, what is this? Where's the evidence against this man?
Now, to be clear,
And
Khalil would know, there's a lot of, I mean, going through the legal system in Kiska, a lot of the trials were stacked in one way or another.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know, but where's the evidence against this guy? Still, there's got to be some kind of evidence.
Alright, I'm just gonna flat out do this, because I don't think we're gonna get anything else out of this guy. And he's planning on killing our friend, so I don't have any moral quandaries here. I'm just gonna flat out ask him, which way is the way back?
And he does not respond. He turns his head away from you.
Think about which way is the way
Why
back.
do you guys hate the gnome so much?
Reading the surface thoughts as he's turning away, his thoughts become... like, it's not a particular direction to go, but he's thinking about how he knows the way and none of you do. Like, none of you would ever be able to find it. Not in their territory, not in these woods.
Eldove, are you passing along his thoughts in a common kind of to us so that we're keeping up?
Yeah, he said he was translating.
Yeah, I'm translating.
I say to him in Gnomish, we really don't have any need to kill you at this point.
Do we know why they hate the gnome so much? What the
Don't
trial is about?
specifically.
You don't. He's only
He
made
went
mention that Zook is guilty of some crime or another.
What's the crime? I want to know what the crime is.
Zook passed that along. Asked, "What is the crime that the forest gnomes that I've committed, supposedly?"
He said the injuries were grievous and numerous, and killing me would add another. But by all means.
I'm not going to kill you, guy.
I'm just gonna keep asking, by the way, so you can just assume that you're gonna need to respond.
Mhm.
Is he thinking about what the injuries are while he says that?
You get the sense that he doesn't know the full extent of it. He's a foot soldier. He was sent out for this particular raid for this particular purpose. He doesn't know all the full ins and outs of them.
This dude was just watching Laundry Golem Fox News, and
Right.
he knows he should be angry about it.
I
He
love
doesn't
it.
know why.
Laundry Golem Glenbeck told him about Zook.
And how he's actually a secret lizard man plotting to overthrow the lizard people.
But he has a firm belief that Zook was complicit in these injuries. Eldove, roll a whiz 10.
Hey, that'll pass.
The more you talk to him and the more you probe his mind, you get the sense that it's not Zook his tribe has beef with, but gnomes in particular.
Oh, I already got that.
Okay.
Like, that was not... Okay, so I'm thinking we just say fuck it, and we dish this guy on his stupid rock, and he can just sit on that rock forever.
Yes,
Yeah.
make sure he doesn't follow us and try to attack us from behind, but, like, if he wants to sit there like a lump, then we'll go.
Wait, by make sure he doesn't follow us and attack us behind, I only have one way of doing that, and it's... a lot of fire.
I'll bring up the rear, keep
I
an
was
arrow
thinking-
ready for him.
I was thinking more along the lines of put some distance between us and keep an eye on our backs.
Yeah. Not just
Maybe,
like
maybe
murdering
using
him here.
maybe using a spirit animal to fly fly behind us by a distance.
Oh man, that's a good idea, actually. Forget flying behind us. I could just leave my owl here, and then have it
Oh,
watch
that's-
him, and
Yeah,
then
no,
when
it's
we're
a
great
gone...
idea.
I was thinking we could circle back on him. Actually, that was the next thing I was gonna say. Is we circle back. Me invisible, or hell, your bird could do it. He doesn't know it's magical.
Yeah, the bird would do it.
Okay, let's leave the let's go in the opposite direction of what my tracking thought it was. Just like so we're out of sight of him.
So which way do you guys leave? So you leave the owl on him?
We leave the owl in the canopy watching him.
Okay. But not
We
in
may-
like a conspicuous place, not in a place where he would notice it?
Yeah, it's just in the canopy.
Okay.
We may as well leave the direction that we already know that they've been, just to see if we can possibly follow that trail.
Yeah, okay, we can do that.
Do you remember those dumb ghost bears? Like, that
was-
still happened.
That
Maybe
was
we should
this-
double back and ask him, what was the deal with the ghost bears?
Oh, yeah. Well, we haven't left yet because we were still talking about direction. So, I asked him. Oh yeah, one last thing. What was up with those ghost? Were you in charge of the ghost bears?
He says, my tribe controls great power.
And I'm guessing
Great ghost bear power.
illusion in general is one of them. The lights and the little light show in the sky, the bears to intimidate us.
Now, is this accurate? Arik is standing within 15 feet of Zook and nobody else is? Otherwise, Zook is alone next to this guy?
No,
Wait, no.
I am. No,
Where
I'm
did
not
you guys
leaving.
go?
No.
I thought we were going to go in the other direction.
You're shouting from back here?
Wait. No, Brick pointed that, or at least the arrow said that he was going this way.
Yes, the trail that Zook picked up led this direction, but I also told Zook he's not confident he could follow it.
Oh,
No,
it's
I
in
know,
that direction.
but
yeah.
but
so
since,
we were walking
since we
away.
have to leave the glade in some direction, we may as well at least try.
Yeah. So we were walking in this direction. I kind of turned back and kind of gave him the Columbo one more question.
Okay. And yeah,
ask him, and
the
that's-
response
so-
is just, "We control great power." He sounds very
Okay.
smug when he says it.
Oh, great power, Ghost Bears. Okay, great, fine. Have a good life. And
And you leaving?
yeah, I'm sort of walking sideways. I'm keeping an eye on him as we walk away. So
Okay.
is he still
You
sitting there as we
Trip
walk
into
away?
a hole and die because you can't see where you're going.
Dude, I
I
have
keep
great
telling you
natural
guys, the
perception.
best
You
way
wanna
to
see
deal with
magical rapier?
Taurus.
Khalil would bring up the rear with an arrow ready.
And as far as you
Right
can
back
tell,
there.
you just watch. And he just watches you go. I mean, it's too
Okay.
dark to see him outside of your guys' dark vision. Once you get to the point where Zook is now, he can no longer see him anyway.
Okay, and I'm gonna actually be trying to pick up the trail lightly at this point, but I'm more interested in knowing that I'm out of the wait.
You can do one or the
Range of
other
him.
because those are both active kind of things.
Okay,
You can focus your attention on one task or the other.
Once we get a little bit of a distance, you guys want to come with me?
Yeah.
Because I want to get a distance and then ask Eldove what if he's moving.
Well, I can't communicate with my familiar telepathically once we're 100 feet away from it, which we are by now. But I can look through its eyes.
And
So
looking
you'll
from the
need to give me a
canopy,
second.
you just see him standing there.
All
Or
right, so
sitting
just stand
in
there.
the same place. Long after you've left the area. He's still sitting there.
Just sitting there, guys.
How
And
much
I
effort
do-
and how
I
much
do
effort and
collect
time?
Tarin's crap and Tarin's equipment.
I don't know who picked that
Oh,
up.
I thought when you grabbed that already.
Thank you.
Well, so Eldove, can you check through those eyes every
I'll
minute
check
or
every
so?
minute.
Okay, and then in the meantime, I'll just try to find the trail and then see if anything happens.
Okay, roll a survival check as you're following the trail.
Well, that becomes a 10, so 17 again.
17. You follow the trail for about 7 minutes, and then you realize you don't know where it is anymore. Your mind wanders for a split second, and at that point, you can no longer. You're not sure how you got to this point. You look back to find the trail you've been following, and it's no longer there.
I ask Eldove if his owls.
Yeah, I'll check my owl again.
Yeah, he's still sitting at the pond. He's still sitting next to that rock. He hasn't moved, or at least not much.
Sure, hope Tarin can get himself out of whatever situation he's in.
So where do you go after you lose the trail, Zook? What's the plan?
What's the plan, you guys? I could keep trying to survive. I could keep trying to find this trail, but it seems to be against me. This forest.
You're also
don't
pretty
think
sure
it's
you
just
left
you.
to the west, but now the sun is rising in front of you. So who knows?
Yeah, we're lost again.
Well, it doesn't really matter right now if we're lost because we're trying to find Tarin and we have no idea where he is either.
Well, that's true, but
That's
I
very
can't find
zen.
I can't find this. I can't find the trail. So,
Can you truly be lost if you don't know where you're going?
oh, that's fucking deep.
Yeah, it is really deep.
Well, here's
That's
the thing.
Monk's perspective.
So here's the thing. Let's keeping an eye on this guy through the owl as long as we can. But in the meantime,
Okay, here's the problem with that.
what's that?
I have no idea where my owl is.
Can't find your way
I
back to
thought
the
we were
owl?
going west. Now we're going east. Like
Yeah.
that owl could be anywhere.
Also, you're not getting a continual view through the owl. You just check every few minutes.
Right.
Okay.
Well, here's my other idea. There's a bunch of unruly laundry giants out here that apparently want me. So we could make camp and let them think they're getting me.
Are
I'm not.
any of us good enough to track you once they have got you?
I think you would have to be on them, like, physically the whole time. But I don't know if you guys are stealthy enough to do that.
I'm not stealthy at all.
I
I'm
don't
not
think any of us
stealthy.
are. Orphan's decently stealthy, but
Like,
Our cleric's
and all
wearing
the
armor.
yeah,
yeah.
and For all the tracking shit that we can do, I can locate creature. Hell, I can even locate an object on you. But it's just I can't get any clear readings. So,
But I think you'd have to be familiar with the objects, and the only object right now that qualifies is Tarin's underwear.
No, he meant me.
Tarin an object?
yeah, I meant Zook.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, Zook counts as an
But yeah,
object.
the same thing applies.
I mean, you're much more familiar with Zook's underwear.
Of course I am. That
Eldove.
makes logistical sense.
Sometime during this
Yeah.
conversation, you check back with your owl, and he's no longer sitting there.
And I relate that and go, well, fuck.
Well, we cocked that up pretty good.
Tarin,
Yep.
you have the benefit of your short rests.
Alright, there go all my hit die.
Now, I'm assuming you're going to Misty Step and start wrecking some shit?
No, first I'll talk into the mind of the nearest giant. I'll sit up from my crumpled state, and I'll just say into its mind, where do you have me? Where am I?
He stands up, very alert, and spins around. And you can see his eyes beneath his rags. Let me make a charisma save real quick.
Good thing you didn't do this first before taking a short rest.
Yep.
That's a 20 something
Yeah,
or other.
That's way more than you needed. That's like a lot more.
The 28.
So you take 9 psychic damage.
I take 4 psychic damage, and so does he.
So he actually takes more than 4. Alright, so you startle this guy when you start talking to his mind. He spins around, and he glares at you with these eyes, and you feel the penetration into your brain. And then, I mean, you push back against it. And you see him grasp his head and start groaning in pain. The other 3 standing there notice this. Stand at attention. 2 of them reach back for their clubs.
I'll think into his mind again. I wouldn't try that again. Where am I? How much you said I took 4 damage, right?
Yes. Well,
Yeah, 4 damage.
Yes. And you're saying this to the one that you wounded?
Yeah. He wounded himself, let's face it here.
That's true,
You punch
he did.
a rock wall, that's not the rock wall's fault.
And when you speak into his mind like that, he turns and he kind of leaves the area very hurriedly, in between a couple of trees. The others, though, are staring at you with rapt attention.
I'll talk to the next one's mind. Where am I? Don't try and attack me. My mind is stronger than yours.
And he responds that you're in their woods. You're trespassers on their territory. You were traveling with a gnome that needs to stand trial for injustices done to their tribe. They're holding you hostage until they can figure out a way to make a trade.
Which tribe?
That's a good question. This is a name I came up with a week and a half ago. Oh, I didn't come up with this name. I got it off Fantasy Name Generator and I fell in love with it right away. He says you're being held prisoner by the Moon Mug.
They're the Moon Mug. I meant which tribe of gnomes, but I'll put that in my notes.
Oh, I thought you were asking for their tribe. Which tribe are they?
No, well, I assume he made that.
I mean, he's stupid. Their intelligence isn't great, so...
Way to play off your own stupid break.
He says you
So we're a tribe
travel...
of
say-
gnomes.
You travel with one named Zook, and how quickly he and your other companions abandoned you.
I don't actually remember that part of it. It's all kind of a blur of pretty colors.
He says you enjoyed the pretty colors, did you?
Oh shit, here we go.
He
again.
lays his club down and holds his hands out in front of him and begins performing the incantation.
Close my eyes.
Close your eyes.
Yes.
Okay. Automatically pass the save if you can't see it. You hear what you think might sound like snickering, except it's coming out of the throat of this really deformed giant creature covered in laundry.
So there's 3 of them around me now?
There's 3 of them, yes.
How close are they?
They're all within a couple, like maybe 20 or 30 feet of the cage, maybe a little closer. but they're not very close to each other. They've kind of got you.
And how
the four of
far
them kind of had
away-
you surrounded.
How far away is the farthest point I can see? If I open my, I'll turn away from it and open my eyes and kind of scan through the forest.
How far away is the furthest point you can see?
Like, is the underbrush really dense and I can't really make out anything too far away, or?
Well, it's not dark anymore. It's an hour after sunrise. I would say maybe 30 or 40 feet.
Okay.
You do hear rustling behind you. After a few moments.
After I've turned around, right?
Yes, you're turning around and facing away from the guy who started casting a spell.
Right. I'm gonna cast Fly on myself.
Okay.
But not actually fly, just spend 1 round casting Fly on myself.
Does that have a verbal component?
Yes.
You cast
Actually, I
the
did
spell.
look up Fly. Let me look it up real quick.
Okay.
I might need a material component. I actually forgot to check that one.
Oh, that's a good call. I don't have my phone with me, so I can't check my cool little spell app that I have.
Oh no.
Oh, it has material. I can't do anything without a wing feather from a bird. Never mind, I don't cast that.
Or your Pact Keeper rod. That counts as a focus.
Right.
You don't have that either.
Yeah.
What about your pack bleed?
That doesn't work.
Yeah, he can summon that, but he doesn't have it. You can't use it as a spell focus.
Yeah.
See, you've heard some rustling standing behind you. Or coming in from behind you. Some creatures are approaching your cage.
I'll
It's your
turn around.
party members?
Yeah, it's probably.
Eric's standing there and all the laundry golems are dead.
Yay!
You're getting
So
a
is the
bonus on
party.
this mission, Eric.
And you hear a voice in common. Very heavily accented. Similar to Zook's accent, but much, much more heavily so. And it says, "Turn and face me and have no fear."
Tarin will turn around.
Turn around. You see 2 of the other laundry golems, I'm going to keep calling them that forever, have left. So now it's the one standing there, but he's knelt down on the ground, almost in reverence. The one that entered looks similar to the ones that you've seen, except all of his robes and cloth that he wears are white, or at least white-ish. Despite their name as laundry golems, they're probably not very diligent about keeping their rags clean. And instead of holding a club, he's holding a staff in both hands. He's got the rags on his head pulled back. His face looks, like I described earlier, very deformed. Pulled in too many directions. And he's looking at you. He says... He asks your name. He says, "What is your name, traveler?"
Tarin Kazmire of Adric's Honor. Captain. I'll kind of stand there, or puff my chest up a bit.
Air chest.
He's got his little bird chest out. It's cute. Says, "And what is your association with the gnome called Zook?"
I've been traveling with Zook since he first arrived in this world, and I don't really feel much like describing the math behind that, so I'll just say that he's not from this world.
Do you bring up onions?
I
Not
don't want
yet.
to bring up the math. What happened to our Tarin?
Took a blood.
He says, "At this moment, your companions are bumbling around our wood in an attempt to find you."
Bumbling.
You all passed your bumbling checks. You're all successfully bumbling.
Trying not to bumble. Do everything in my power not to bumble.
Biggity
Shit.
buck bumble.
Hey, I like passing bubble checks, you know?
But their path is very perilous. He says, "I would seek to aid them, but I know not how."
So what are you looking for Zook for?
He says, "There are some among us that would hold your companion to blame for injustices done long ago."
How long are we talking? Hundreds of years, thousands of years, millions of years?
Many generations of old elves have come and gone.
You would know that Zook is only 50. He's a young gnome.
So how exactly does someone whose parents weren't even in the same space-time continuum when this happened to blame for it?
He doesn't know what you mean by space-time continuum, and he says as much.
The same world. And Tarin will just sigh and look at the ground.
He says, I know well that your Zook is innocent of any of these crimes. And as I say, your friends are in great peril if they attempt to stage your rescue. Nobody quite knows what to do with you, Captain Kazmaier. Roll a perception check.
Sure.
Or insight, whichever you have that's higher.
Pretty sure yeah, those are probably the same. I don't think I'm trained in either, but let me look. No. Yeah, 13.
Okay. When he mentions that like old crimes, things that happened generations ago, when he talks about how he would seek to aid your friends but doesn't know how to go about it, the one that's kneeling in reverence next to him, you see him kind of writhe uncomfortably. Kind of bristles a little bit at the comments.
So, why do all of your associates here not agree with you?
There is more disagreement than the tribe would like to admit. Says, I believe I can help. But it will be difficult. It will require a great amount of trust on behalf of your friends. So I need to know if I approach them, am I putting myself at risk?
Yes, obviously, but showing that I was unharmed would lessen that greatly. Also, don't take Eldove off, because he kind of flies off the handle quickly. That's the elf. Half-elf.
That's accurate.
That's totally fair.
Let me tell you about this time when he fell off a rock.
Right now, others in the tribe are forming a plan to surround your companions with a force 10 times what they've seen. And this time they will not come armed with nets and bags.
I have an idea, and I'm going to summon my Pact Blade. Actually, let me look this up real quick to see if it works the way I think it does. I might be wrong. Before I do that, let me just double check the rules on that.
Okay.
I don't know, it would disappear after a minute. I was going to say you could take it, and you guys should know that if I was unconscious, or dead, he wouldn't actually be able to have it, but it'll just disappear after a minute. Oh, alright, I know a way. I can tell you something that only I would know, and you can tell them that, and then tell them that I told you this in good faith as a sign that I was still unharmed.
He nods. Says, and what is this thing that I should know?
Give me a moment to think about it.
Turn your headset off for a second. Oh wait, shit! I won't be able to know if you did it.
What?
Say, so the world is like an onion. And she's like, oh Christ, it's him.
Does Tarin speak Gnomish?
Sliced onions.
But Tarin doesn't.
Tarin doesn't, okay.
Can't he speak into their mind, and they don't understand him?
He can,
Yeah,
but
Tarin
if the man is speaking Gnomish, Tarin won't understand.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, Tarin can communicate. I'm going to tell him that there is I'm going to send this directly into his mind.
Okay.
That there's a strange stone sarcophagus that, for being idiots and knowing not better what to do with it, we put it back in the bilge of our ship after destroying the undead that were inside it. And it's still there, to my knowledge, to this moment.
I forgot about that. Oh, I gotta find some way to fuck you guys with that. That'll be good. And
God, it's been there for a year.
Yep.
the creature's eyes kind of twist up a little bit in maybe confusion, but he understands the words. And then he turns to the one that's kneeling next to him, and he lowers his staff down and uses the butt of his staff to lift the creature's head up. looks at him very intently and says something in Gnomish. A command or a reprimand or something harsh. And the Reverend Laundry Golem just nods a little bit sheepishly. And the one in white robes retrieves his staff. And looks back up at you. And he says, "This arrangement can be beneficial to us both." He says, "Know that I am Barnabas."
Pleasure to meet you, Barnabas. Shame it's under such duress conditions.
And then he swiftly turns and leaves. And a few moments after he's gone, the other one stands up back to his feet and starts pacing back and forth, watching you, dragging his club on the ground. And before too long, he's joined by 3 other guards. So I take it sending has a material component.
I haven't looked that one up yet. I was actually
Copper
thinking more about
wire.
escape.
Just ask for copper wire.
Is that it?
Just copper wire.
So what's Tarin's grand plan right now?
At this point, I'm just going to wait. I'm more willing to work with this giant.
Okay.
He hasn't shown any hostility towards me.
So back to the nerds.
I'll give it
wandering-
at least a day, though, tomorrow morning. And I'm on the lookout for any birds, obviously, just in case that isn't clear.
Oh, there are birds. There are plenty of birds. I mean,
I just need one wing
not plenty.
feather.
You hear them more than see them. As for a way
Alright,
for you to
so-
capture a bird, like none of them are going to land on your cage and come in. You're not a Disney princess.
Yeah, I need to grab one. I just need to figure out a way to get one feather. I might actually try and mage hand one if one's within range, but not while the giants are watching me. I'll wait. I'll give it a day.
Okay. Back to the nerds
Slap a
wandering
bird.
circles in the woods. Is that the entire extent of your plan?